OCO, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Star Seed. This is a pick a card for the collective. Only take what resonates to and for you, leave what doesn't. Today's message, we're focusing on how you see yourself versus how others view or see you. You have 3 piles to choose from, but before you make your choice, close your eyes. Inhale slowly for the count of 3. Hold the breath for the count of 3 and slowly release for the count of 3. Pause the video, do that as many times as you need to until you feel grounded, and then you can make your choice. You can choose between pile 1, and there's the back of the card in case you resonate with that instead. Pile 2, back of the card, or pile 3. And of course the back of the card. I will see you at your choice. All right, pile 1, you chose the Pastel Journey Tarot. Let's dive into your message. Start off by seeing how you view yourself. Pile 1. How do you view yourself? I'm actually hearing this song has been channeling in and out for stuff lately. That oh simple things, where have you gone? I'm actually hearing that song. It's not that you don't enjoy luxury or lavish things, but you really enjoy simple stuff. Like, you can take pleasure in the most simplest of events or activities without much effort, as long as you feel grounded, as long as you feel connected. Connection is important to you. Family may also be really important to you. You could also have pets. Maybe your pets are like your family to you. With the Princess of Cups, you can tend to be a bit nosy. You know this about yourself. You do like to check up on things and be in the know. You don't like to be a part of the situation per se, but you do like to be aware. You probably have key friends that you call and you talk to when you really just need to maybe gossip about something. I'm not getting gossip all the time as like a harsh thing. Sometimes it's just friends having a topic to talk about, being able to mention their opinions in a safe space where they know the people who are listening to them get where they're coming from. And if they are off about something, they can get checked about it, right? That's the kind of relationship that you may have or that you may seek when it comes to getting to know people. You like conversation. You like communication. It's something that you enjoy. You don't always need to be the center of attention, though. So while you can listen and be like, oh girl, really? What? Oh, homie, they really did that? Wow, bro, that's crazy. You're a bit different if it's like flipped and it's about you, then it's like, hey, y'all mind your business. So this is something that you notice about yourself. And again, you're probably more of a homebody than you are a go out person. And when you do go out, you're very particular about where you go. It doesn't always have to be something over the top. It can be real simple, like going to the park might feel really good to you. When you go out to eat, going out to eat either with somebody, one person is cool. You don't need like a whole crew. You really don't. But you probably do like family functions, like cookouts and things like that. You like the fact that you have the means to bounce when you want to. Bus, train, plane, whatever. When it's time to go, when you're ready to go home to your house, you're ready to go. But you'll mingle and get along with people in the space for as long as your energy feels up to. And again, somebody here may have pets. It's 2 dogs on this card, but I'm actually seeing a dog and a cat in my mind's eye. So someone probably has a dog and a cat. Cunningness and loyalty is important in your energy, or something that rests in your energy. So if you don't have pets, the fact that I'm seeing a cat, cats tend to be very cunning, right? They're also a bit ornery at times, so you might have those traits as well, and you're taking note of that. They also like to sometimes be a homebody. They'll roam on occasion, but when they get home, they don't want to be bothered. They just want to go in their own little world, play amongst themselves, and then come back and regroup with humans when they feel up to it. So that's probably how your brain thinks too. Like, oh, I'm cool with hanging with y'all until I'm not, and then I'm ready to go. Don't make me hiss at you. Just let me leave without much argument. But there's also a sense of loyalty as well here with the dog energy. A sense of companionship and loyalty is also important to you. With the Emperor energy, you're really good at taking leads. But again, I am sensing for some of you in pile 1 that you don't necessarily always want the attention on you. But if you must, you will take the lead. You will get some stuff done now. No questions about it. I do have a feeling that sometimes people would prefer to kind of take care of things before you have to, if you get my drift. Like if there's a conflict or an issue, they rather, hey, like let's handle that before such and such get involved, because they don't play no games. They ain't got no time for the bull. Emperor energy, you're really good at taking action on your desires. When you procrastinate or when you try to force yourself to do something that you're not up to, it backfires. But when you listen to your instincts and you follow what they're telling you to do, you apply yourself, you be an authority in how you apply yourself. And I'm not talking about, I say this all the time because I have to, it's not about being an authority over another person. It's being an authority in what you do. When you assert yourself, you tend to be an authority in what you assert yourself in, because you'll learn it to that capacity. I also feel like you're really good at spotting talent in other people and letting other people know, okay, you know what, you'll be really good in this position, you'll be really great in that position. Sometimes that can come off probably as a little controlling, a little controlling. Okay, with the Real Me Oracle by King Aloha, we're gonna get into how other people see your personality. How do other people view you? Are there similarities? Do they see something you don't? How do other people view you? Pile 1. Street smart. Bit careless at times. I don't feel that you go off a lot, but considering that's where the Emperor is, and we just talked about how sometimes people feel like, you know what, we should take care of that before they call such and such, because when such and such come over here, they're gonna spaz, they're not gonna tolerate no BS. It's gonna be some ish if we don't have our thing on the up and up. That's how I'm viewing this spazzy, I go off a lot energy. Some people might perceive it as you going off a lot, because by the time you're called, by the time you have to take the lead and you have to handle the situation, how much crazy debauchery has been going on, right? Whether it be a business space or even amongst family, especially when family gotta call you, yo, so and so ain't listening again. Oh, God. So by the time you show up, it's like, I don't have time for none of that you just put XYZ through. This is what we're going to do, or it's going to be a problem. And so some people see that as you being kind of like on edge, right? Where in your mind, it's like, no, I'm just really good at being assertive and taking the lead when the rest of y'all lollygag around. Okay. With the careless energy, where the 10 of Pentacles is, I'm not really concerned with what happens. They view you as careless when you want to go home. When you just want to kind of come and involve yourself for as long as you feel like it, and then you're ready to move on to something else, whether this be conversation, event, situation, it doesn't matter. Once you are done, you're done. Once you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And some people might take that at times as you being a bit careless, like, oh, well, what if we didn't want you to leave? Or what if we still needed your help with XYZ? And the way you view it is like, listen, I did my part. The foundation is there. The stability is there. I can go now. I like my safe space, and your safe space for you is your home, whatever home is for you. It could be your actual house. It could be a place that you like to go to because it just helps you relax and you feel at home in that space. But it may not always involve a whole lot of people. Even though you like family, even though you like chilling with your little clique on occasion, it's exactly that, on occasion. And there are times that people feel like that you come off a bit careless, not in the sense of you're reckless, but more so in the sense of like she or he don't care what we want. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And it's like, listen, I'm not concerned with what happens. If I feel I need to disconnect from something or I gotta go, That's just what it is. All right. And with the street smarts, like I said, you like to be in the know. You see this in yourself. You do tend to be nosy on occasion. You are that ear that's open to listen whenever somebody comes in and they want to communicate something to you. You're probably also really good at expressing yourself. Though you may sometimes question that, you are pretty good at expressing yourself, if not excellent at expressing yourself with certain things. You just don't like to be the center of the topic. As long as it's somebody else, you're cool with it. You have a lot of street smarts. You're educated in the way of life, and that makes it easy for you to communicate with people. Now, be careful, because sometimes some people take that as ghetto. Not that you're being ghetto, but some people probably feel like they don't know that they don't understand your code switch. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, the code switching, right? Like when you grow up in certain areas, when you are around certain cultures, there's a certain way you talk. Maybe when you speak a different language, because some of you I feel like are bilingual, you talk one way in a certain language, like your demeanor changes, your tone and accent changes, and that's just natural. That's culture, and also that's just how some languages are designed. I sound completely different sometimes when I'm speaking in, like, say, Japanese or something else. But a person who's not as cultured, a person who's not as experienced in the ways of life, will simply view it as you're switching up. Oh, look at that person switch up. Look at them change. That's not what it is. It's just you knowing how to adapt. Same thing can be said when it comes to, I don't want to say class, but just areas, right? Like there's a certain way that conversation go down in the hood, and then there's a certain way conversation go down at work, and so on and so forth. And maybe there are some people who've seen like all the different avenues of you, and it just throws them off how you do that. Like, how did you just go from knowing every slang in the book to turning right around and looking at the person next to you who's not from around the way, and your ebonics went out the window? You know what I'm saying? Like they're a little confused by that. You get what I mean? So sometimes some people who are only meeting you in one setting may misunderstand you and take it as like, oh, he or she is a bit hood, when really it's just like, nah, I know how to switch up. Now, that's not to say that some of you out here may not sometimes do little hoodish things. If you do, you know who you are. Be honest about that. Okay, maybe that's spirit letting you know to be mindful of it, because there are certain circumstances and situations where that energy isn't conducive for you. But for others, it's more of a misunderstanding because they don't understand how you code switch the way you do. That's how it's channeling. That's how it's channeling. Okay. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Get some more divine aspects of this. I do feel like some of you need to be mindful of your temper. You could be Aries. Don't have to be, but you could be. You could also have Leo in your chart as well. When it comes to like being sometimes coming off a bit an ego. You may not mean to. Okay. You could also have Virgo or Taurus in your energy, because Lord knows when we Virgos are done, we just want to go. Like, we're done. We're over it. Oh God, people. But you could be Taurus energy too. Doesn't have to, be a main thing in your chart. The zodiac's playing your energy regardless, and this is the energies that I'm picking up for some of you here now. If it is in your chart, if it's your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and everything else, then that's just further confirmation for you. But you can operate in the energy of the zodiac, like it's your sun sign, like it's your moon, even if it's not, depending on what's happening vibraciously. I'm also picking up Pisces and Cancer energy. Okay. Finally. Guess they wanted me to get all that out first. Oh, look at that. The fact that the Princess of Cups is out here, and that's also a youthful energy. And then you have Child Eternal, determined to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. The ability to see things with fresh eyes while also being street smart. See what I'm saying? See how that aligns? Like, yeah. On the shadow side of that, sometimes you could be a bit maybe childish with things. Again, you might like to listen to stories but not be the center of stories, and that can come off as like a double, hey, how you cool with talking about such and such as business, but you're not cool with talking about your own. Sometimes those may be things you have to evaluate within yourself. But you do like staying youthful. You do like, as a part of liking to conversate and go out on occasion, is it helps you feel youthful and vibration. But when you rest your mind and body, that's when you're at home. That's when you're to yourself and you can just chill and kind of be in like almost a hermit mode. So that's that Virgo energy again. Okay. We have delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. Look at that. And remember, we have that carelessness, and we also have that 10 of Pentacles representing you liking to be a bit of a homebody. It also means that you like stability. So I wouldn't be shocked with that leadership energy. We already talked about you being able to show up on the scene and get things done, get stuff on track. So that could be in business and as well, whether you be entrepreneur or work for an office in a cubicle, you will get things done. However, while it is great to feed your creativity, this is Spirit pointing out to be mindful, as well as saying that you tend to be on par with being mindful to not become too superficial. That's the homebody in you again, though. But I feel like Spirit's again saying, just be mindful of being too attached to the material thing, even when it comes to a house or whatever. Don't always think that your happiness has to be boxed in a building or an item that you have or anything like that. Nature is abundant. Life is abundant. As long as you view it that way, you should be fine. Okay, it's channeling the way it is for a reason. Hopefully it's making sense. Okay. And lastly, wow, and look at that. Serving humanity with humility. Look at that. You are amazing at what you do, and you want it done right because you understand the service that you're providing. This is whether it's work, helping out family, whatever it is. You understand the value of what has to be done. So you don't want for things to just kind of be left as is when you know there's a better way. And that may come off to people sometimes as you being pushy or spazzing, but it comes from a good place. You just might have to be mindful in sometimes how you deliver. All right, Pile 1. Let's get into your aura. Let's get into your aura, Pile 1. Ooh. Turtle Clan. Just heard Turtle Clan. It's like my mama, Turtle Clan. Yeah, Cancer energy might be really powerful here, okay? There's a cat. Somebody has a cat or is cunning like a cat. Kind of also a little ornery at times like a cat. Look at the face of this cat. Okay? Some of you may have cat-like features. Yeah. Y'all know how y'all see people that be really gorgeous and you be thinking to yourself, like, they kind of look like a cat or a lion. Remember I picked up on Leo energy. An example of that would be like the singer who did the I keep bleeding, keep bleeding. And like when you look at her face on the cover of that album, she looks like a lion, kind of. Really pretty, right? Really beautiful. And you may have features like this. Or cat-like eyes. When you look at people, they're like, whoa, your eyes are kind of cattish. Comfort. Didn't I tell you like the comfort of your house? Support and safety. You don't mind being supportive, but you do like the comfort of your home. In fact, we're going to put that right there. You do like the comfort of your home. Okay, or feeling comfortable where you are with the people that you're dealing with. We have desire, warmth, sexuality, longing. Not so much picking up the longing for too many of you, though that can be there at times for some of you, especially if right now your ambitions are kind of like outweighing personal life a bit here, or being more open to say love or things like that. Then you might find yourself at times longing to share your desires or longing to be in a connection. For some of you, it's more so to share your artistic desire or your personal desires. And that sexuality also stimulates, or wow, why did the word stimulate come out, Spirit? That was for somebody. But the sexuality helps to confirm that liking to be youthful in mind and body and just feel really good about yourself. So you might be someone who likes to dress up when it's time to dress up. You don't need to all the time, but you like feeling good, you like looking good. Okay? And Turtle Clan, we have dreaminess. Look at that. Dreaminess. That goes along with that page as well, even though it came out with that liking to be a part of information and whatnot. I also feel like it matches this energy too, because the child eternal is attached to it as well. Things that make you feel youthful, things that make you feel good about who you are, where you are in life, regardless of what your age is. You probably also look younger than you are. People probably mistake your age for something younger all the time, pal one. Okay, but that's because there's a certain youthfulness in how you dream and in how you view the world. Okay, you have a lot of vitality to you. You have a lot of just rejuvenating energy to you overall. And again, you could have indigenous roots with the turtle clan energy, or turtles are really significant. Someone could have a pet turtle. But pal one, that was your message. I pray that that resonated for you and gave you some clarity on how others perceive you in certain moments, so that you sort of can understand the energies that you deal with on a day-to-day as you maneuver through. Peace, love, and light. All right, pal two, let's get into your message, into you, darling. I'm picking up on the energy of like sleep and dream, and that makes sense because you chose the sleeping nine tail. You also chose this deck, which on the back you see that the little cookies looks like he's daydreaming or asleep, right? You might also really love food. You could dream of like dishes to cook up. You might be a cook. Somebody in pile 2 might be a cook, whether it's professionally or you're just really freaking good. Like, you could be professional. Or cooking could also mean that you like to cook things up, stir things up. All right. How do you view yourself, pile 2? How do you view yourself? Oh Lord, not Loki and Sailor Moon. Well, it confirms your imagination, doesn't it? Confirms how creative you are. Okay, with the 9 of Cups here, which it looks like it's supposed to be Loki. Yeah, that's Loki. With the 9 of Cups, I feel like you believe that you could really get whatever you want when you want it if you really assert yourself to it. Sometimes, though, that could come off a bit sneaky and trickster-like energy. Loki's a trickster. Okay, you yourself might be acknowledging this in yourself right now, that you do have that trickster-like tendency. You don't always mean it from a bad place. If someone tests you, you might sometimes get a bit vengeful. All right, you have a tendency to overindulge just a tad in something. So if a person moves you for good, you really indulge in that feeling. If an energy or person moves you to bad, you can tend to indulge in that energy, and so your emotional responses and your mental responses tend to be based on that. So you might need to slow things down and do things in moderation. All right, but some of you in Pile 2, you really do believe that you have the tendency of getting what you want. We have Sailor Moon herself, who fights for truth and justice on the Queen of Swords, the cut the shit energy. So for as much as you love feeling fulfilled, you love indulging in certain energies, even sometimes if it pulls you in a negative route, I do feel like you check yourself before you wreck it. Like, you probably had to learn that the hard way. Like, learn the hard way how to pause when something seemed a little too good to be true, or something was taking you out of your element and putting you kind of like in your ego or in your head too much. You had to learn the hard way to regroup yourself, reground yourself, and be more honest with what's going on. This is also the person who's really good at communicating with individuals on a high intellectual level. So along with that trickster energy comes high intelligence, darling. You are not easily played. Not easily. Okay? If at all, really. But I do feel like you have lessons in the past that had to teach you a few things. And with the Hierophant energy, I'm getting the vibe that while there are certain traditions you might have been raised or born in, and certain ones you like to follow, you tend to love breaking free of the mold. You like doing something different and building your own traditions, and that draws people towards you, especially on a spiritual level. You could be at a point right now where finding your soul tribe is really important. These are things that you can acknowledge in yourself. Like, you're pretty honest with yourself, so you know to acknowledge what one might consider to be your faults, or you might consider to be your faults, while also being able to acknowledge your strong points. Whatever your faults may be to you, you're working on them, right? You just have these moments, these little moments of slip up. Other than that, I do feel like that 9 of Cups is indicating that you're really good at fulfilling a task for yourself. You know, when you put your mind to something, you will bring it to fruition. You will have the results. Somebody asks you to do something, you're going to get it done. You're going to have these results when you feel committed to it. Sometimes you might get a little too into it, and something has to come back in and remind you to slow down, take it easy, relax. All right. Along with the Queen of Swords energy is the vibration of being protective. You are very protective of the people that you care about. This is something that you acknowledge in yourself as well. Emphasis on care about, because if you don't care about them, you're probably like, miss me with the BS kind of vibe. This is the cut the shit queen. You don't like when people come in and sound like they're playing you, or like, even though you might have a trickster energy, you don't like another trickster coming on your field. You might resonate just a tad with Power One, like a tad, when it comes to that, you know, maybe liking to do something but not necessarily liking it done to you per se. Okay, but yeah, with that Hierophant energy, the spiritual journey you're on right now is breaking a lot of norms and a lot of traditions that perhaps family or culture, you know, society as far as culture is concerned may frown upon, but you're finding yourself. You're in the midst of your own soul journey, and it's leading you to connect with people and be more devoted to your path. So this is an interesting card of commitment coming out, being committed to the truth, being committed to your fulfillment. Let's see how other people view you, pal, too. Let's get into that. You do believe in making your dreams a reality. It took you a while to trust that process, though. You know, like it took you a while to trust and have faith in that capability that you're able to turn your dreams into reality. But you've learned through some experiences that that's very true for you. Okay. We have relaxed, individualist, and affectionate. Look at that. So people's view of you isn't too far from what you are. Okay. You probably believe that a big part of manifesting your dreams and your goals is to keep calm, is to relax, right? And to just be sincere with what you're doing. I keep hearing like a little chuckle in the background, like like you could be a little sneaky sometimes. Okay, just you do. Spirit calling you out on that. Yeah, they believe in bringing their stuff together and being calm. Sometimes that calm is a sneaky calm. They're just not saying what they thinking on the inside. But Spirit is bringing it up with a bit of a jokester energy. So perhaps your trickster vibration is more of a jokester than anything else. You try not to allow people to put you in a vengeful state of mind, because you know how you are when you enter that space and you don't like that part of you. I feel that being relaxed and calm just suits you better. It makes it easier for you to connect. It's not saying that you can't have a party and that you can't be wild, but you're the level-headed thinker in the midst of anything that goes on. And people notice this about you. They feel calm around you. They feel relaxed. They believe and trust in what you're capable. If you promise them something, they trust you. Be mindful of that in the sense of, you know, I don't say mindful to be fearful. I say be mindful in the sense that you pay attention to how you make other people feel. Because when people trust you like that, when they feel such a soulful connection to you, that you make them feel safe and relaxed, you could have a bad day and say that one wrong thing, and it could create problems in areas that you don't need problems. So just check in sometimes. If someone's annoying you and you need to pull your energy away from them, okay, just make sure that you're never snapping on people who don't deserve it, or you're not sometimes disregarding the feelings of others who really need your attention. Okay. Again, we do have that you like to be protective, but if it's one thing about the Queen of Swords, she is independence, okay? She's the cut the crap. Don't come at me with no bull. Stay truthful and honest, and we're all good here. And this is the energy that you tend to transform in when necessary. I don't feel like you walk around with a stick up your butt all the time. I don't feel like you're truth and justice all day. Like, you know what I mean? It's just in key moments, you know how to make up that energy. If you grew up on, you know, Sailor Moon, you know what that is, or you could say Moon Prism Power and transform and all that jazz, right? You might also be into stars. I think that a lot of what you dream for yourself, what you do, comes from a place of wanting to be independent. And maybe when you were younger, you didn't have a lot of that, being able to be independent, being able to do things for yourself without having to rely on someone else. And while you know that it's not wrong to rely, you do like being able to do stuff on your own and say, I accomplished that, I did that, and others do see this in you. I don't really pick up anyone seeing this too much as a negative. Some people may have met the colder side of this, because the Queen of Swords can be cold when she wants to be, and some might have come across that chill when you had no chill. Right? Okay, and again, you're on this soulful journey. you're starting to create your own traditions and your own spiritual practice with yourself and the inner connection, and that's just drawing certain energies to you. I feel like others see this. They see this affectionate part of you. They see this open part of you, which is probably what they see when you're most relaxed, and it just makes them kind of want to sometimes people just want to be up under you, pal, too, and that might annoy you. Actually, that's why you snickering. It annoys you sometimes when people kind of want to be up under you. Whoever's snickering I'm hearing is it's not creepy, but it's highly suspicious. Okay, not like in a bad way, but in like a what are you thinking of right now kind of way, and do I really want to know? Because I kind of feel like I don't. But yeah, you can sometimes like sort of drop love bombs on people and be really affectionate. I do, however, see some people not getting this side of you and kind of hearing it from other people, and that making them a bit jealous. Like, how are you so committed to being so loving to yourself that it leaves you open to be loving to the people you trust, but not always open to maybe allow new energy in all the time? That can make some people feel a bit weird, but it's not necessarily wrong that you do that. Again, you might just want to be mindful sometimes with whom or what type of situations you're doing that with. But if people have an issue with you putting, self-love and care before you initially just go in to help and inspire another, that's their own personal blight and problem. For the most part, the individuals who genuinely get that affectionate side of you, if you were ever wondering or questioning if they realize that they get that part of you, whereas everyone else doesn't, they do. They realize it. You're more inspiring to them than you think you are, and that's why Spirit keeps saying to be mindful of your ways in certain situations. Not every little thing, not every little day. You ain't got to be Mrs. Save, Captain Save, or any of that, right? It's just know that you do have this magnetic effect on people. Yeah, I'm still getting that vibe of like, yeah, that makes sense with the trickster energy now, like that getting things cooking, like stirring the pot sometimes. Like you're probably that jokester. Some of you, you know who you are, you know what resonates for you, but you're probably that jokester that sometimes likes to say little like phrases because you know it's going to stir somebody up, and then like watch them go back and forth. Kind of like, not as bad as what Loki would do, but kind of like Loki, like, so-and-so feels da-da-da-da. Psst. Well, guess what so-and-so said about you? You know what I mean? Like, kind of taunt people a little bit and make them get into play fights and then act like you ain't do nothing. Like, oh, I didn't say anything. I don't know why y'all thought I said something. Who told you that? You were probably known for being a bit of a prankster to the people closest to you. Let's get some other archetypes for your energy. Oh, look at that. We got the Knight. Look at that. Loyal, romantic, chivalry, a love of honor. Okay. I really feel like, of course, that goes here. Along with that individual energy, you are still very protective of the people that you care about. You do love to dream, that romantic side, but you believe that dreams can be made into reality. You learned the hard way what it was like to not trust in your dreams and your visions, and now that you've reached a place where there's more understanding, you don't let anything drag you back to the other. But that's also why you don't like for people to put you in the mentality of like being vengeful or too angry. You understand that anger has its place, you just don't like feeling controlled by emotions that can be destructive. That's also probably why you're a bit of a goofball. You rather snicker and laugh it off than to respond. I don't think people want to see your shadow side is the point. Okay, we have, oh, look at this, the preserver of knowledge and information. See, that goes right here with the Hierophant and you being affectionate as well. You're really good at, again, there are some traditions that you're breaking that you didn't connect with, whether it be cultural traditions, spiritual traditions. They didn't work for you. You don't judge anybody else that does them. But as you start to work on your own thing, you sort of find your own rhythm, and there are people who connect with your rhythm. You're simply channeling something that's already in existence and kind of like embodying it, if that makes sense. So people who are drawn to you might be people who come from similar backgrounds or similar practices, but they couldn't resonate with the way those backgrounds and practices did things. And the way that you present it, the way that you show them a different form of commitment to it just opens the door. It's kind of like how there are several different types of ways to do, yoga. There's Himalayan yoga, there's yoga from, south of India. There's all, what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different ways to practice. There's 1,000 different tribes for several different types of nations, and everybody's got their own thing. And perhaps you found a way to bridge certain connections and get rid of anything that felt low vibrational to you, that might have worked in a time of great war or a time of great need, but just isn't needed now. You do this without being disrespectful to others, because again, you're not here to dictate to someone else what they should do. Maybe they're going through something in a way that they should go through it, but you know what you're going to tolerate in your energy. All right. And again, that lightheartedness, that dreamy part of you supports that energy. Okay, let's get one more, and then we'll get your aura. I was waiting for something like this to come out. You're a rebel with a cause. You see? Challenge authority. All right? Like, if something don't feel right, and your justice energy is like, something don't make sense here. Okay? Libra Virgo is the queen of Virgo Libra is the Queen of Swords. Okay, it represents the season transitioning from the last moments of Virgo into full Libra season, the beginning of Libra season. So with that being said, if something don't make sense, if it ain't balanced right, you gonna question that status quo, and you don't care who likes it. You may not be disrespectful, but you gonna question. And if somebody sees just the questioning as disrespectful, then you really gonna be like, well, what's the problem here? How come why are you in the hot seat? Why are you questioning this obvious problem? Y'all don't think that there's a problem with the way that something's being run if it's got you treating other people in ridiculous ways? You telling me I can't question your motives when you know what I mean? Like, that's you. You'll get very that protective energy of the Queen of Wands, like not a lawyer type vibe per se, but able to debate, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Or able to speak with a diction that's hard to dispute because you've paid attention to the fine print. All right, I feel like for those of you that needs to make sense to, it'll make sense. I don't want to, sometimes spirit will keep me on something for longer than I like to be on it. But yeah, it can come off as very rebellious sometimes to people as well. All right. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. What did I just say? I had to zoom in for a minute to see it. What did I just say? I just said that. I've been saying this the whole time. Okay. You have an interesting energy, pal, too. Bit of a playful vibe, a little bit of... Don't take Trickster the bad way. Trickster is a neutral energy unless it channels in as a particular being. And while Loki's on the card, you're more so just the kind of person that you sort of like to, you just stir the pot just a little bit, you know what I mean? You don't like anything to go violent. You don't want to make people hate each other or nothing. I feel like if you have siblings, sometimes you might, so and so took your toy, like, you know what I mean? Just to see what happens, and everybody's looking at you like, you're the first one to start some da da da. You're like, what? I'm innocent. How dare you accuse me? It's a very funny kind of energy, but by the time you blink, everybody's more relaxed. Everyone's more chill, but you did the thing that goes against the status quo or the norm to do in a certain setting. Maybe you come from an upbringing that wasn't so playful, and you're the playful one. That could be considered rebellious. If something in spirituality doesn't vibe with you and it feels like it's toxic or it's not, and if it is, then it's not genuine in what it claims to be, you're going to walk away from that and do your own thing. And your own thing is really just you tapping into another layer, another realm of source, which is why you can still find interconnection and everything. You get what I'm trying to say? Let's look at your aura. Oh wow, that shot out fast. Balance, creativity, and self-love. I don't need to say nothing else because I've been saying this the whole reading. I've been saying this. Oh, you got the bumblebee. Oh, the bumblebee, spontaneous, youthful. That caution, I feel that's about your temper, but you know that already. Because when that Queen of Swords activates in that other way, that's all she wrote. Alright. And we have trust, Oh, look at that. Wow. There's something about this image of underwater. Some of you may be a strong water sign, or you really love the water. Again, not for everyone, but if you felt moved to watch a bit of Pal 1, there could be a reason for that. Turtle energy came out in that, and there was water vibration with that energy as well. But yeah, you're someone who is trustworthy. You're someone who's very sincere and has a lot of depth to yourself. Interesting, because the English version of Sailor Moon's name is Serena, right? And in the Japanese version is Bunny, because it's Utsaki. But there's something about that, like there's this energy between playful but very justice oriented, or just I like things to be in a high vibration. I like for people's energies to be respected. Okay, but when somebody disrespects you, they might flip on the other side, so you try to stay in a zen state as much as possible. All right, you are committed and have conviction towards the things that you believe in. They don't always fit along with the traditions that you grew up with, be that good or bad, only you know. But, and by good or bad, I mean as far as if you perceive what you grew up around as good or bad. You know that some teachings in certain cultures are toxic traits that became normal, but you also know that some things just exist that way because that's how it works for this particular person or this specific family dynamic. And when it doesn't work for you, you pull out of that. You redirect your energy somewhere else, and you build new traditions. You will question. You will question. And some cultures say, don't question, don't ask questions, just follow. And you're like, nah, hell no, I'm going to ask all kinds of questions because I want to get to the truth. I want to get to the bottom of things. You're a person of depth, and you like to understand things in depth. And that was your message, Pal 2. I hope that didn't feel too all over the place for you, but those energies were coming in pretty quick for you. These are the colors that fit your aura. You may want to put these colors around you more. I really feel that bumblebee, that like honey color is really standing out here for someone. Peace, love, and light, beautiful soul. Pile 3, you chose the bunny. And you also chose my baby who holds the bunnies, representing the year of the rabbit that we're in right now. Let's get into your message. There could be a lot of abundance around you right now, though I feel some of you in Pile 3 don't know that quite yet. You haven't seen enough to trust in that process yet, but there's a lot more abundance and fertility. You still have time to make the end of this year really powerful, significant changes to support you for next year. Okay, but for right now, for where you currently are, let's see how you view yourself, Pile 3. How do you see yourself? Okay, off the bat, hardworking. Mastering new skills. You probably spent a lot of this year mastering new skills, sharpening your talents. Look at that. Didn't I tell you there's a lot of abundance for you? Okay. You could be a mom or a parent. The Empress gives off very much a mom vibe. Some of you might be new mommies. You could have just had a child. Someone might have just had twins or triplets. Good Lord. I mean, when you bring things into the world, you really bring them into the world, huh? I'm hearing somebody change their diet for the better. You might have had health issues and you need to change your diet, be in a more fruitful state, and that's been clearing, helping your energy and clearing things up, putting you in a better mood. You might have dealt with a bit of depression at some point, and now that you've been working on yourself and diving into things that make you feel good, you're coming out of that. If you look at the face of this rabbit here, you see how I was like, okay, I'm just time to make another one. You might have been in that state for a minute, and now you're more so in this vibration. Like, you know what, I'm feeling really good about the work I've put in thus far and the things that I'm bringing into fruition. All right, you're You're becoming very confident. If you weren't before, you are becoming confident now. You are giving yourself more self-care now. You're not allowing anything in your space that could soil the land or spoil the land, so to speak. That could also mean that you're not allowing certain lovers or people around your energy anymore. Look at that Queen of Wands vibration. Look at you. You might sometimes come off like a diva to people. Okay, whether it be the new or old energy of you. I feel like it, for most of you, it's resonating as the new energy of you is kind of more of, I'm hearing more the fact that she's also an Aries. And I'm feeling Aries energy right now, even though a lot of times this is Leo vibration. I'm feeling Aries. But I'm hearing when she's like, I don't know her, and she really meant it. Like, she really just didn't know the person. That's kind of you, and people might take it as, oh, you're being a diva, you're being blah blah blah, and you're like, if I don't know, I don't know. Whether it be a person, a thing, a place, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I know. If I don't, I'm gonna just keep it real. And if that comes off with an air of to somebody, so be it. That's a personal problem. But most people you give your warmth to, and by most I mean a lot of times when you come across somebody, you're in the energy of warmth. You're in the energy of, as long as y'all are respecting my vibe, I got nothing but love for you. We're all good here. Very passionate energy, very soulful energy. You might also be known for being a bit funny. It's funny because this is how you view yourself, but for some reason it's also channeling in with little hints of how others who are important to you view you. Like, yeah, they would agree with what you're saying here, that you are hardworking, and that maybe at one point you threw yourself heavy into work. At the same time, you're starting to learn how to take care of yourself and just give yourself more praise and see your own abundance, see the things that you can create in the world. Some of y'all became mommies, right? So that's creating to the 10th power. All right, especially if you had like twins and triplets. Good Lord, you just was gonna come out with a bang, huh? And for others, it's more so that it's just you radiate confidence and fertility in the sense of just being, there's no other way to say that, just being abundant in everything that you do. It may not always seem that way, but things work out in your favor more than you may realize. And the more that you've been swishing your mentality into that state, you've been seeing the results of it. And for some people, seeing is believing, right? With the Queen of Wands, again, even you sometimes may classify your energy as being a bit diva, but it comes from a warm space. It comes from, I just know what I like and what I want and how I want it done. You're very captivating, and you probably know this already about yourself. When you want to be, you can be very captivating to people. All right, now let's get into how others view you. How do others view you? Pile 3. You can't make that up. Look at that. You're building your wealth. And I tell you, it's interesting how as I was doing your message to see how you view yourself, we were still getting insight from how others viewed you. So if you have been sort of neglecting really acknowledging how far you've come, or really acknowledging that you're in a far better place than where you were before, just know that there are people around you, if they've been saying it, it's coming from honesty. Regardless of sometimes what someone else's intention is. Sometimes people who even have negative intent have to be honest about what they see, and they'll tell you, like, you're amazing, or you're so abundant, you're going to be wealthy, you're this, that, and the third, you're full of wealth, you're full of knowledge, you're full of the capabilities to be an entrepreneur if you wanted to, make a passive income if you wanted to. You have this capability. You just have to assert yourself, and that's all. And they may not like that you're able to do it, but they can't deny that you're able to do it. However, I feel like Spirit wants to point out to you more so the people who are genuinely in your corner. When you see yourself as a person who can do that work, so do they. Just remember, it's about working smarter, not harder. All right? When you see yourself as an abundant being, there are other people who see you building that wealth as well. Just know that not all who see you do it may have good intentions. So listen to your instinct and use your discernment. Okay? We have, I'm the going out social in your face type. So some people see you as the individual who likes to feel like that goes here more so. They see you as the person who likes to go out. I would think you see yourself as a bit of both, actually. Sometimes you like to keep to yourself, maybe be out, but in your own corner, and just like observe the space and see what everybody else is doing before you interact with people. And other times, yeah, you're like, oh, where the shot glasses, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Or what part are we going to? Who's dancing? You might be the first person on the dance floor. Sometimes in situations, the Queen of Wands is captivating, right? Very captivating. So people see that energy sometimes as a going out energy, a very expressive, fiery vibration. And again, I was picking up Aries. So Aries, Leo, Sag could be in your energy with that fire vibration. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn could also be significant. More so Capricorn in this vibration with this boss energy. I'm picking up on like a lot of boss vibration. You will be popular. People view you as popular. I mean, the Empress would be, right? She's the Empress. You may not think this about yourself, or you try not to toot your own horn or something, but people do view you as popular. People do view you as that person who is full of fertility and abundance. They want to know you. They want to be in your atmosphere. Even people who don't like you have to talk about you because they want to be up under you and around you. Alright. Let's get some other archetypes, and then we'll get into your aura. We have the mentor, passing on wisdom. Look at that. We're finding a student's, the fact that you put in the work, of course, will give you the experience to know how to pass energy on to others. And remember, people see you as somebody who builds wealth, so therefore they see you as someone they could come to get mentorship from. And when you're in that right energy, you do have the mentality to lead, to help people grow where things couldn't grow before, or maybe to move to more fruitful spaces and land. You might be, pause, part 3, y'all might be into like real estate, because land references keep coming up. Fruitful land. Yeah, some of y'all might have had kids, but some of you could be in real estate, or you're like really good when a company is forming itself. Maybe you're in marketing or something where if a thing was like dead in the water, you know how to tell them where to move or what to do to rejuvenate or be in a better space for prosperity. You could be like a feng shui master. You go in people's homes and tell them how they might have to redecorate it with what they have, because let's be clear, some places just didn't build spaces to be very spiritually amplified. Okay, they built it to be more, stuffy and boxed in. But you're that person that can go in and go, you know what, we can make this space work for you to where it helps you manifest to something better. So that goes along with what I'm saying about y'all being really good with manifesting, and y'all being really good when you put the work in. But for some reason, at one point in your energy, there was a doubt. So you were probably doing this for people and not thinking much of it. But come to find out, you're amazing at it. You got, somebody goes and tells people like, that's the person who helped me with my business, or that's the person who got my accounting correct, whatever, that they helped me get my land, blah blah blah. Somebody might have been on maternity leave and then came back like a whole new you, whole new everything, and just was like on your game, and people just had to talk about it and had to talk about you. So if you felt like your ears were burning at one point, it was for a reason. Yeah, I'm not taking all that, spirit. We're not taking all of that. Just have had some interesting things tried to come out, but yeah, that Taurus energy, that knowing how to get rich, that Capricorn boss vibration, very strong here. Oh, look at that. Understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. I feel like we can put that here. It really goes in either position, honestly. There's also a lot of like orangey colors. A lot of creative colors are around you, Pal 3. After me picking up so much creative energy about you, you sure do have a lot of creative colors coming out here. A lot of oranges. Deep shades. That almost looks a little like an orangey peach color. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. Queen. She's your queen to be. Wow. You are radiating intense feminine energy. If you're a masculine, you radiate a strong energy of creativity, intuition, and warmth that is just not common in today's society when it comes to most men, because most men aren't necessarily connected to their inner feminine vibration. And there's a big difference between that inner feminine vibration and then having the female archetype, right? And for those of you with the female body, shape, vessel, you've either given life, birthed something, or the process that you went into manifesting was very similar to how one goes through the cycle of giving birth. Very similar to that. And that came from possibly already being a mom and kind of comparing the two lanes, which you can do. You can compare how, things go through this cycle process of growing, right? First trimester, second trimester. But for someone here, it's something about children, babies, maybe you want some. It's channeling that way for a reason. It could be spirit babies peeking their head in like, what's up? But this queen energy that comes off of you is very strong. It's very strong. You've learned, and for some of you, you are learning to see your inner glow a lot more than you did at one point in time. And there are others picking up on that as well. The Queen of Wands can be a very outgoing person, a very high vibrational energy individual. The Queen is someone who knows how to maneuver around her people and draw them close, right? She's the mother vibration. She's the feminine energy. She can bring everybody together. So you're probably really good at bringing people together as well. I do again think that sometimes, like a queen, you like to kind of sit in the seat and just observe people before you make a move. Queens always had to watch everybody so that they knew who might be for them and who might be against them, right? So you do the same thing. You kind of watch the space around you in an interesting way, but you still complement the space at the same time, because I'm hearing Beyonce's take me to compliment the deal. Like you compliment stuff. And that was a lot of energy. I'm going to pull up out of it now. I pray that resonated and it gave you some clarity of how others are viewing and seeing you, and, confirm certain things for you about yourself or about some of the people that you might be dealing with. Peace, love, and light. Pow 3. If you enjoy the vibe around here, be sure to subscribe and, of course, check out my Oracle decks. See you next time.